Hello generations, young, old, and everyone in between. Welcome to Generation Apollo, where we have all the knowledge young people need in an easy-to-swallow, over-the-counter pill. I am the voice of a generation, and today I wanted to make this short video in response to all the panic currently going on over the coronavirus. Specifically, I made this video to present the idea that, as bad as this virus seems now, it could actually be a potential blessing in disguise for all the underemployed and impoverished millennials and other young people out there. Now, you may be asking, how the hell could a potentially deadly plague like the coronavirus possibly be a blessing to young people? Well, because this virus has now exposed the Achilles heel of globalization for all to see. The same globalization that has motivated companies to outsource American jobs, much to the detriment of our younger working population, and all in the pursuit of cheaper labor costs and higher profit margins. Sure, outsourcing seems great if you're the CEO of a crony multinational conglomerate and everything is functioning normally. But when your foreign supply chains are disrupted for any reason, like, say, a highly contagious viral infection, suddenly you become painfully aware that outsourcing without having any domestic manufacturing infrastructure to fall back on wasn't such a great idea. Oh, we don't need a manufacturing base anymore. That's so mid-20th century. That's beneath us now. In the 21st century, we're a knowledge economy. That's right, we're all about the knowledge. And don't worry about all those displaced manufacturing workers. They can always learn to code. And if they can't do that, there's still plenty of minimum wage service sector jobs at Walmart and McDonald's they can always take. And the rest of us can all make big money being YouTubers and social media influencers. It'll be great! And best of all, we get all our goods dirt cheap because they're made by third world laborers, and dirt cheap is all that matters. Uh-oh, what's that? The foreign factories have shut down due to coronavirus and all the store shelves are empty, there's no toilet paper, and face masks that used to cost 50 cents each now cost $100? Oh no! However could this have happened? 3 words! Supply chain disruption, you fucking boneheads! And now, because America is heavily dependent on foreign sources like China for much of its manufacturing needs, and because many overseas factories have temporarily shut down due to half their employees being too sick to work, we're going to see shortages of crucial products if this pandemic gets bad enough. And speaking of crucial products that we need, I don't know if many of you realize this, but a huge portion of our generic drugs are not manufactured in the US. They're made in China and India. Yes, really, they're made in China, the current epicenter of the pandemic. And if you're one of the many Americans that has a medical condition that requires you to take certain medications to stay alive, you should be rightfully worried. But now, Corona-chan has shown us the folly of our ways. Hopefully. The real question is, will we learn anything from this? Probably not. Not unless it gets really bad and causes enough economic disruption. But the point is, I think this whole situation, as bad as it has the potential to become, can still offer at least one small silver lining. If American businesses learn from this and decide to bring factories back to the States, imagine the opportunities that that's going to create for all these unemployed and underemployed millennials and Gen Zers out there who were duped into spending the equivalent of a home mortgage on worthless college degrees in useless BS subjects. Now, I know that's not what all you philosophy, sociology, or gender studies majors out there had in mind as your ideal careers, but these factory jobs, if we ever see them, they will definitely pay a hell of a lot more than working at Starbucks. And if you guys want to have any hope of getting out from under your student loan debts and owning a house one day, I'm sorry to tell you, but you're going to have to work really hard in some pretty crappy and unexciting environments. And if the members of my generation who were misled and hoodwinked by these evil predatory demons in the educational and financial sectors don't jump at this opportunity, again, provided that it comes to fruition, then at least this would give future generations of young people the chance to achieve some prosperity and tell the college sector to go to hell. But again, that all depends on whether we actually learn anything from this whole situation. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm certainly not making light of this situation, and I express only my deepest sympathies to anyone who's been directly impacted as a result. But all I'm saying is that this potential pandemic, again, as bad as it may seem now, could end up having some positive outcome in the long run. And if you don't believe me, then all you have to do is take a minute to review history, and you'll see that this isn't the first time a plague has had an unexpected positive outcome. Case in point, more than 500 years ago, Europe was ruled under the oppressive system of feudalism, a system that basically amounted to indentured servitude and ensured that the rich stayed rich and the poor and their descendants would always remain poor. The wealthy aristocracy and military elites owned all the important land, and the peasants were dependent on these rich elites for protection and survival. The rich allowed these peasants to live on their land in exchange for tending it and also being required to defend it militarily if needed. Because there were so many peasants, labor costs were low, which was good news for the rich elites because it meant no person born into poverty would ever be able to save up enough to raise themselves up and challenge the landed gentry. But then the bubonic plague swept across Europe, killing a third of the population in little over a decade. Now, this created a major labor shortage, so the surviving peasants were able to demand higher wages. These higher wages allowed many peasants who would have otherwise been doomed to a life of poverty to finally save enough money to buy land and become landowners themselves. As wealth flowed into new hands, the old order collapsed, thus paving the way for Europe's cultural renaissance that followed. A renaissance that wouldn't have happened had a deadly plague not tipped the scales in the favor of the underclass. Now, hopefully COVID-19 doesn't plunge America into chaos the way the Black Death did to Europe centuries ago. But if it ends up being the wake-up call that this country needs to repatriate our manufacturing sector so that the younger working class can actually have a shot at having what their grandparents had, well then I will be among those praising Corona-chan, because it will be proof that sometimes even seemingly terrible circumstances can have some positive outcome in the long run. And with that, I think I'll end this short video on that note. So, what do you all think? Do you think this virus will usher in the apocalypse, or just be another big nothing burger? Do you think America will learn anything from this, or will we just go back to business as usual once this all blows over? Let me know in the comments. And if you like this video, hit the thumbs up. Please subscribe, like, and share this video so that I can help grow this channel. And lastly, don't forget to follow me on BitChute, Minds, and now I'm also on Twitter, so be sure to follow me there as well. Links will be in the description. So thanks again for watching, and thank you for tuning in to Generation Apollo.